Way back a couple weeks before school was out, we practiced text connections. And text just means anything you've been reading. It could be something you read on the internet. It could be a book. It could be a newspaper. It could be a comic book. It could be a list of something you read. So the text is the thing you read, and the connection can be a lot of different things around you. So one of the things we learn is a text to self connection, and that's what we're going to focus on today. So I'm going to use the napping house, just because I read that as a read aloud today, to think about text to self connections. If I'm doing a text to self connection about the napping house, I might say, well, in the napping house, there was a grandma, and she snored a lot. And I have a grandma that snores a lot too. So that could be a text to self connection. See if you can come up with at least one text to self connection about this book. Just think about it for a second. And your assignment for today is going to be to read anything. It could be some books on Raz-Kids. It could be a book at home. It could be something someone read to you. It could be something that you listened to. So whatever it is that you read, you're going to try to think of a connection between the book and your real actual life, okay? A text to self connection. So the other kinds of connections we can make are text to world. We do that sometimes, a text to world connection. And that just means something that's in real life. Maybe it's not in your personal life, but it's in the real world. So I could make a text to world connection about the napping house and say that there are big houses like this one that have, let me find that picture for you. I've seen houses like this that have yards kind of like that and are 2 stories like that with lots of windows, and that's something I've seen in real life before. It's not really a personal connection, but it's just a connection to the world. So the last one is text to text, and that means whatever you're reading to something else you're reading or something you've read before. So the napping house kind of reminds me of that book I read last week about I will not read this book, because it repeats itself over and over again, and the pictures keep adding and adding and adding. And so it reminds me of I will not read this book. The structure of the book kind of reminds me of that. So I took this text and compared it to the other text, the other book. So we've got text to self, text to world, and text to text connections. Today we're specifically practicing text to self, and tomorrow we'll do text to world, and the next day we will do text to text.